Behave now. We're off to Corrie now, where Abby Webster is in for a shock when she gets back from her holidays. She's been cheating on husband Kevin with his brother Carl. But little does she know, Carl has also been doing the dirty on her with neighbour James. Sadly, so, you know, we're talking karma here all round. But sadly for Abby...
Did you get it, Carl?
No. It looks like Carl's bunk up with James in the Chariot Square Hotel wasn't a one-off, as last night the two were getting very flirty over a cuppa and a balm in Roy's Rolls.
Sorry I've not been in touch.
I didn't notice.
Are you trying to play me?
I'm not trying anything. I think you're the player, Mr. Webster.
I am but a humble mechanic, Mr. Bailey.
Was that all?
That is all.
So, do you do body work?
Oh, I do everything, me. Pistons, drive shafts, wankle engines.
Oh, it's a right fun house in here, isn't it?
Actually shocked.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was going to be said. I really wasn't expecting that. That's why you said...
I said karma.
Karma.
Yeah.
Karma
He's putting a spanner in the works.
What did
Oh, my Lord. I've got to watch that episode tonight.
A full tank today. I think it's Brenda.
This brings us to the topic, right? Because he can't be trusted that well, can he? But can you trust someone, Kelly, that's cheated?
Oh, it's a really hard one for me because for many years, and I'm just going to be really honest, and I've never said this, and I never really talk about this, but for years, I actually thought that I was a serial cheater because I'd always been in relationships that were supposed to be monogamous, but they never ended up being in the end or during, or there was always a third party on one side of it. And if it wasn't, it just became what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so for years, it just was like...
So if they cheated, you'd cheat?
Yeah, it was just like I'd been out with a lot of guys that were... Don't you think?
Somebody in the audience going, go girl, go girl.
I think... And even if they weren't honest about it, you kind of know that it's happening. Do you know what I mean? You know, and you'll think, well, they're at it, so, OK, well, it's just a free-for-all, isn't it? And then you just end up in this horrible rut of actually neither of you ever really committing properly. And it wasn't until I met my husband 10 years ago, and I just thought it was just going to be another situation that I've always kind of been in. And he was so serious and so focused, and I was like, oh, and it actually made me become the best version of myself in a relationship because all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm not like that. It was just the wrong situation. And Jeremy and I have literally, we are so focused on each other. Neither of us have ever cheated. We've been married 3 years, together 10 years. Like, we've just come back off a holiday. It feels like we're newlyweds. Like, we are so in love, and it just gives me so much hope. So I do think that, like, there is hope out there because, honestly,
well, that's
for
what
about 2 decades, it was a nightmare.
So
it was chaos.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think all of that happened in the past because you weren't the right person for them, they weren't the right person for you, and then you meet your husband and go, I don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah, I just think I had a couple of cheaty kind of men, and then you just become that because your vibe attracts your tribe, and you just become that, and you're just in this thing, and it's just until you really take a focused look and change your course, you're just going to keep repeating the same cycle. And I felt like I was jumping out the chip pan into the frying pan all the time. Do you know what I mean? It just got worse and worse and worse.
Chip pan into the fire.
Or whatever it is. That, you know, the phrase.
Now I'm old.
And it just got worse and worse. And then in the end, I just thought, oh, I just give up now. I guess this is just my life.
This is how it is.
This is how it is. I mean, how do you expect
you
anyone
grew
to
up
be
thinking
faithful?
that's what relationships were.
No, I just think in a world where we have so much variety in social media, it's not like you're just going to get married to the girl in your local town and that's all you're ever going to meet. Like, there's like a whole world out there and it's on your device, isn't it?
It must be harder.
It's so hard.
This generation must have it harder on the cheating front because there are so many more devices, so many more temptations everywhere.
Yeah, but they get caught because of all the
Well, of
They're
course
so
they do.
stupid.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Pre-mobile phones, people could get away with all sorts of things. They could say were doing when they weren't. But then, if you remember the most famous scenario, you know, with Diana and Charles and Camilla, there were 3 of us in this relationship. We see that people can change. We look at how much happier the king is with Camilla. You can see that is a relationship where clearly, once he found his happy, he was as faithful as he can be. And I think that's quite a good template because it's like a really grown-up, serious version of looking at it. But I think, truly, people don't think of looking elsewhere if they're really 100% happy.
Yeah,
I do think
maybe.
that. I mean, once you are happy, you just don't go looking elsewhere.
But I think that comes down to communication. And I only say that because, yeah, you go in, everybody would like it to be a monogamous, it's just me and you, and we spend that's me, we spend the rest of their lives together and we grow old and live happily ever after. But the minute something happens that's like off your course, if you don't confront it with that person or address it with that person, not confront, address it with that person, then it's just going to fester and fester. And then that opens up a hole for somebody else to come into your relationship. So I think you've got to start with communication, which is a big lesson that I've learned along the way now in my older age, to just say, well, this is what I'm not happy with. Do you want us to talk about it? Let's talk about it and see if we can sort it out. If we can't, bye, boy, bye. It's that. Do you know what I mean? Carl, I love you, darling.
You know what? You scare me like Auntie Pam. But the moral is, don't cheat, I guess. But anyway, well, cheating could end up being discussed in the new series of our podcast. This time, we want to hear your deepest, darkest dilemmas and cheekiest confessions in Loose Women Just Between Us. We'll be unpacking those tricky situations that you might be battling with. Send your stories and dilemmas to loose.women@itv.com with podcast dilemma or podcast confession in the subject line.